This video is sponsored by Card Kingdom. Use the links in the description to visit their store. Hello everyone, we're doing another Foundations draft. Pretty easy Arabo, like it's just a really good card, and there are a bunch of cats in the format that are good. Like even if there weren't, it would be good. There are some cards I might take over it at lower rarities, you know, like some of the really premium uncommons, but there aren't very many, and I don't know that there really are, because yeah, it's just 3 mana for 2/2/2s is a great rate, and then there's cats everywhere in white, so it's a pretty easy pick. Ooh, followed by a Sunblast Healer. That's pretty legit. Arbiter of Woe is quite good too. It's performed really well, better than I expected, really. It's like the 6-drop that black decks can play that can really turn games around. Every color but red has one of those at Uncommon, as I've talked about in a few other videos. Okay. Probably not taking a white card here, because I don't love Twin Blade Blessing. I mean, it's not bad, but I think I'd rather just have Spectral Sailor, you know, just like a nice blue-white tempo card. The Elemental's okay. Oh, there is a Stab, actually. Never mind. We're taking Stab. Yeah, I mean, it's one of the best commons in the set. Stab it is. I haven't gotten to play much black in this format, so that would be nice. Playing black would be nice, just to do it. Stab. I don't know, you know, sometimes I don't understand why. Like, why did they use up a card name on a card that already exists? Because Disfigure is the exact same card. 1 black, -2/2. And Stab is such a good card name. Is it like they're trying to come up with like a less... I mean, Stab is just as violent as Disfigure, so it can't be that. I don't know what's going on there. Seems like a waste is my point of a card name. Not that that's an important thing. So Fake Your Own Death is pretty decent. It is good with Arabo. It's a nice trick. I don't love the idea of taking it here, but this pack is not very good. I don't, you know, I think green-white's an okay color pair, but this dying to Stab and Burst Lightning is a huge liability, and it can't, you know, the turn you play it, it's a bad blocker, and it's open to really, really cheap removal. And then it's not that good as a late-game top deck either. So it can work, but it's not a signpost that I'm like, okay, I'll take it and think about it. Like, I'd rather take a card in the colors I'm already in that I think is pretty good, and I think Fake Your Own Death is good enough. Make Your Move is okay, but it's a little too narrow. I like Fake Your Own Death more. Okay, we do have a cat here. It's not a great one, though. It's fine. Not when you take pick 5, though. Probably take the Truffle Snout or the Paladin. I think I like the Paladin a little more. We're not really in the +1/+1 counter deck, but there are a few counters around, and a 3-mana 3/3 that has first strike when it attacks is quite good. And we already have white cards, so the Zombie's okay. The Siphoner's okay, but I think this is better than they are, so I'll just take it. Mischievous Pup I don't think is very good. It wasn't last time, and I don't think it is this time. You know, it can be, but you need the right situation. You know, you need something to blink. You need it to help you dodge a removal spell. And you can't afford to have a card that you can't just, like, play out when you want to. And that's kind of what it is. Needletooth Pack is really good, and I think better than Luminous Rebuke. I've just played so much green in this format. But, like, I think it's good enough that I'm going to take it here over the Rebuke and see where the draft takes us. We have some decent green cards here. I like the Ranger okay. Uncharted Voyage isn't bad. The Scourge, I think, takes a little bit too much work. The Stomper is okay. It's not the 6-drop you really want in green, which is the Indrik, I think. Yeah, I think we'll just take a Ranger. I mean, it's not an exciting pick, but that's what's there. I do like Infestation Sage a lot in all the decks, especially if you end up with some sacrifice stuff. I think it's better than Make Your Move. And it still being here is a good sign about black, I think. Okay, so Hungry Ghoul is one of the cards that the Sage is good with. I'd probably pick it up here. I do like Big Fin Bouncer, but it's not, like, insane. And I've got several black cards, at least one of which is really good, I think. And, yeah, I mean, it's not like this is really good, and neither is the Stomper. So we'll take the Ghoul. Well, taking the Eagle's not terrible. I don't really... Juggernaut hasn't really done it for me. The Lookout's okay, so is the Surprise. But, like, we might end up in blue-white. It's not impossible. So I'll take it. I could have taken a Gainland. All right, speaking of we might end up in blue-white, it's not impossible. We'll take an Elemental here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's not likely we end up in blue-white. All right, so you're going to give me a free Dwynen's Elite, and you don't expect me to take it? The way they've treated me in this format, I mean, that probably means I'm going to get at least 4 more, right? Yeah, it was kind of a weird first pack in terms of signals. Like, we saw a really late Infestation Sage. Dwynen's Elite I don't think means as much because, like, the first one is a pretty low pick. Like, you know, it just is. All right, well, like I said, if we end up in blue-white, another playable blue card. These two are, like, actively good blue cards, I think. That one, not so much. Progenitus, just what I was hoping for. Unplayable and limited, sadly. So, Galta's cool, but he is pretty hard to set up consistently. Or they. I actually think somebody told me once Galta is female, so I apologize if I got that wrong. But, not that great in limited is the point. It's not bad, especially if you're already in a deck with, like, lots of high-powered creatures. But I think the Hydra's probably better. Like, it takes some work, too, but not to get it into play. Once it's in play and you get a turn or two, it does the work itself. Whereas Galta needs stuff in play or it's stuck in your hand forever. So, I do like Bushwhack okay. And, of course, Pridemate's good, but this Hydra's really good. So, that's what we'll take. Might be playing green again. Tragic Banshee's pretty good. Fiendish Panda I like a fair bit. I'm just not that sure we're going to be in black-white. White did not... Like, we took some really good white cards, and maybe that's enough, taking a few good white cards early in packs, because, like, the Healer and Arabo are great. But after that, we didn't see much in the way of white. So it might be better to take a monocolored card, although at this point we're not that sure about monocolored cards. So maybe I'm supposed to take the Panda here. Like, the Banshee's good, but yeah, I think I'm going to take the Panda. We'll see what happens there. Oh, Abyssal Harvester. That'll lock me further into black, that's for sure. It's very strong. I'm surprised that it's still here, actually. Yeah, so we'll take Harvester here. So, are we black-green? If so, Wardens of the Cycle's not bad. Am I convinced I'm in black-green? Not really, but these white cards aren't exactly pulling me in the other direction, so we'll take the Wardens here. Okay, there's a Burglar Rat. Probably grab it. There are some decent blue cards here. That's, of course, like, I think Essence Scatter's pretty good, even. Burst Lightning's really good. But at this point, this deep in the draft, I kind of think we need to pick a lane, and Burglar Rat is really good. So, and we have Stab, which is black Burst Lightning anyway. Soul Collar's not great. Big Fin Bouncer's definitely the best card here. I mean, the Soul Collar is playable. It's probably what I pick up here, because we're pretty sure we're in black now, I think. Still not sure if white is our secondary color, but yeah. This is not a Gainland that helps us. Another Essence Scatter. Don't really think we're in the market for Meteor Golem. Yeah. I guess we'll take the Highlands. I mean, there's an off chance that things kind of work out in that direction. Okay, so second Wardens of the Cycle probably locks me into black-green. It's a little sad because I think two of the best cards in our draft are these two, but white is just not open, and we can't really force it. And if we're not in white, we're not going to get that many cats to make him even better, even though he's good on his own. So I think we kind of have to abandon it. Yeah, I guess we have a few playable blue cards, so I may as well take one here. This has been a weird draft in terms of signals, but it feels like black-green's where we're supposed to end up. It would be cool to splash Fiendish Panda. It's not impossible. Arabo's less good of a splash. Like, the Panda's good all game long because you can trade it and reanimate something. Like, even if you get it late, even if you're never gaining life. But it actually works with the Wardens in terms of life gain. So we're not super deep on playables, and we're going to need more Dwinen's Elites to make our other Dwinen's Elite playable. But here's a Macabre Waltz, which definitely is playable. It's not like green has been super open either, is the thing. But we do have a Mossborn Hydra and a Needletooth pack, which I think is sort of comparable to Arabo and Sunblessed Healer. Plus, then you have the Wardens in the mix. So, I mean, if I open like the Black-White Mythic Rare now, I'd probably flip back into Black-White. And there are a few other really good white cards that might flip me back into Black-White. But for now, we're Black-Green. It kind of feels like the colors we're not drafting are the ones that are actually open, which is not awesome. Like, red has been pretty open. That Burst Lightning, like, maybe I should have taken it and just veered out of what we were doing, because that was a pretty good signal. I just felt like we had a good lane ourselves, so that I didn't really need to, you know, take a Burst Lightning. Okay. Well, Raise the Past, not really going to, you know, it's hard to make work. We have lost to it in the format. You know, it's the kind of card that you will lose to more than people will actually win with overall, because you'll see the few times when it works out, you know, on occasion. So the Librarian's good, the Zombie's good, the Thespian's good. I guess we're graveyard oriented to an extent, and we could use some 2-drops. I think the Thespian's a little better than Mild-Mannered Librarian. So I think it's probably what we take here. We could take a Sands to try to play our Panda, but I think if there's a 2-drop that's playable in our color, I'm probably just going to take it. Do have a big old Ceratops here. There's also an Elfsworn Giant. That's probably what we pick here. Yeah, we'll take the Giant. Now that we have 2 landfall triggers, Evolving Wilds moves up in our pick order a little bit. Feel like we are definitely not in the best lane. I mean, Ambush Wolf's fine, and it's what we'll take, but, like, you know, Dazzling Angel still being here is really good for white decks. There are a lot of blue decks that'll be able to use the Terror really well. Okay. So this pack has an Overrun and a Llanowar Elves, and I wouldn't hate a Snare Spinner either. I don't know why they're all here, though. Overrun right now, the win rate on 17 lands, not great. Which I think is an interesting, shows you how limited it's changed. It is early when I'm recording this. We don't have enough data to say it's like we have a consensus at this point, but it's like 53%, which is like 1% below the average. Used to be a crazy good card, and I think it's still pretty good. But I think I'd rather take Llanowar Elves over it, if I'm being honest. I think the Elves are just, they're better in more like, they're better in, like, opposite situations is what's interesting about them. The Elves are really good on turn 1. Overrun's really good on a board stall. But you know what happens every game is turn 1. And what doesn't happen every game is a board stall. We'll take another Elite here. I mean, at this point, we probably do play 2 Dwinen's Elites alongside our Llanowar Elves and our Beastkin Ranger. Another one would be good. But yeah, I would like Overrun, don't get me wrong. I just think we want Llanowar Elves more than we want Overrun. You know, there weren't that many other cards that I would have taken over it, which is funny because we've seen so many mediocre cards. Ooh, time for that Thornwood Falls to come in handy, because Zimone is nuts. I kind of would like one more piece of fixing, but I'll play her off of 1 Thornwood Falls. She's good enough to make our mana bad, because she wins most games, even if your opponent kills her. Just because 2 counters plus make your opponent use a kill spell, that's like a 2-for-1 up front. And then if she sticks around, she just wins. And it doesn't matter when she comes down. So yeah, we will take her. One more piece of fixing would be nice. It is unlikely at this stage, but not impossible. We'll take a Beastkin Ranger here. We don't have as much removal as one would hope. But yeah, At this point, definitely blue is our splash color for Zimone. This does not help us splash, unfortunately. I mean, it kind of does, but it makes the rest of your mana worse. Like, I could name blue with it. Well, not name blue. Name human. How many humans do we have? 1. So, yeah. If I had a bunch of humans, I think I would think about it. We'll take the katana. Oh, man. That's not the land I want. It could help us play our panda, but there's no way our deck could support playing both the panda. Splashing a panda and a Zimone off of 1 gain land for each would be asking for it. All right, well. Yeah, blue-red may have been the best lane in this draft. I ended up with a deck I'm excited to play with, at least, because I haven't played much with black, or at all, really. So, so I'm glad to be in it, but I don't think it's the best black deck. I don't think we play the katana. Well, I don't hate the snare spinner. We're not that good at getting threshold. I think I'd rather have, like, this defensive creature that can put counters places. We just barely got there in terms of playables. I am sad we didn't get... I guess we do have Fake Your Own Death, which is, you know, it's not reliable fixing, but it's fixing. But the pick would have been nice, because that's, like, really legit fixing. I think we could consider it as such. And it would have been nice. Evolving Wilds would have been nice, of course. But yeah, we like I said, even with our mana how it looks, we play Zimone. Do we play Quake Strider Ceratops over like a Vampire Soul Caller? Probably. I mean, I have Macabre Waltz in the same slot, and I think it's better overall. Yeah. Might be pretty funny to mill. Like, play Wary Thespian, mill a Quake Strider Ceratops, and then make a copy of it on, like, turn 4. That's living the dream. That is one interesting thing we can do with Zimone if we don't have the mana. We don't have that many ways to mill ourselves. If we had more, I think this Surveil might be the only way. But it could come up. Yeah, use her Surveil. Put Zimone in there in the graveyard and then make a copy of her when we don't have blue mana. That might be pretty funny. But yeah, this is what our mana looks like, and I think we cut a Soul Caller. I wonder whether we actually need as much black as we have. I guess we do. This gives us 8 green sources still, which we don't need this triple green until late, so I think that's acceptable. It's not awesome. Lana War Elves helps a little on that front at least, but yeah, this deck looks solid. We'll see how it plays. Okay, looks like a pretty decent hand. Yeah, I mean, we have the mana to play this on 4. You know, this card's interesting because in Sealed, it's, like, really good, I think. You know, Sealed tends to be slower. You have more time to use it and stuff. But I don't think it's as good in Draft. I mean, it's fine, but I've seen a lot of people talk about it like it's this insane value engine, and I haven't seen that happen as much in Draft. And the data we have right now also just says it's, like, an okay card. Yeah, so we'll just play out the Elite on 2. It's always kind of sad not to get the value, but it's 2 mana, 2/2, and yeah. Crystal Barricade. Well, we don't have anything to do on 3. I guess I attack here because there's a chance they let me through because they're afraid of a trick or something. Yeah, not so much. Probably play the Snare Spinner. Dazzling Angel. Yeah, now I think I really want to play the Snare Spinner. I mean, they'll have to kill it or punch through it with a trick or something, so... But, like, I think during the pre-release, people played with this and it was good, and like I said, I've played with it. Oh, God. Fiendish Panda. I've played with it some in Sealed, and it seems, I think, better there than in other places. Not that it's bad here, I'm just saying, like, I've seen people talk about it like it's the best common in the set or something, and it's certainly not that. Do I want to play my giant here? I'm definitely not in a good spot. Fiendish Panda is going to keep growing and then reanimate something, which is bad for us. We haven't really been able to get an advantage early. Also not great for us. Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and play the giant. We're not in a spot where we have a good attack to make, you know, to set up Warden. So, all right, there goes our snare spinner. Still don't have good attacks because we still have a reach creature, but it doesn't have death touch anymore. So they have that going for them. All right, trying to start making elves. I wonder whether it's worth attacking with my giant here. I don't hate the idea. They don't have like a really good block. The bad part about it is it would set up... it would set things up for them to easily gain more life with Fiendish Panda, because Healer's Hawk would be able to attack me, for example. So maybe I just play the big old Ceratops here. Yeah, let's do that. Pretty good on this board. You know, it's also not a card that's amazing, and, you know, a lot of people thought I was an insane person for giving it a C in the set review, but it's more like a C-, I think, but it's fine to have at the top of your curve. Arbiter of Woe is not a C-. It's real good. Yeah, I think we'll hold on to our Wardens. So now, if Fiendish Panda dies, they can, in fact, reanimate the Healer's Hawk. I think we still attack with the Ceratops here. I mean, they still have to block it a lot to put a stop to it. So, I mean, they'd have to block with everything, and it would kill everything. So, yeah. Not really a reason not to swing with Quake Stride or Ceratops here. Yeah, we'll smash in for 12. Then we'll play Wardens. Yep, Fiendish Panda will start growing more, though. Yeah, now they've got the removal, so we're in some trouble now, it's safe to say. So if I kill Arbiter of Woe now, it will get reanimated by Fiendish Panda, but it's not like I can just take 5, you know? So, well, I guess I probably can take 5. Let's take 5 for now. I'm not going to be able to do it forever. Okay. I think I'm going to send this token in, because if I can get them to kill it, I can get this triggered twice, because I'll play the other one. So yeah, I'm going to do that real quick. I doubt they're going to block it. I'm pretty sure they'll just let it through. Yeah. But it was worth a shot, I think. I can get the Wardens in play, second Wardens in play, and start sacking to the Ghoul, which isn't too bad. Next turn is when I'll be able to double up on the trigger. Only have 1 black mana right now, so... Even Zimone would have a pretty hard time getting us out of this situation, I think, unfortunately. So, yeah, I think we've got a block. Does mean Dazzling Angel will be able to attack us and such. So let's attack with this token again. If they don't kill it, I'll sack it to Hungry Ghoul and draw 2 cards. Yeah, they can just block it with that. It's pretty funny. Okay, so let's play our Ghoul. Unfortunately, I don't get to draw until the end step, so that's a thing. We'll go ahead and play this in case we draw, you know, there's a lot of stuff we could draw that would be pretty impactful. Lose a life, draw a card. Lose a life, draw a card. Ambush Wolf isn't terrible. I can get rid of that freaking Arbiter before they can reanimate it, at least. So that's a thing. What else do they have in their graveyard? They've got a Healer's Hawk, because I'm probably going to use the Wolf to prevent them from reanimating it. problem is I have to block Ugly, like, now if I do that. So I think exiling the Arbiter and just letting them have Healer's Hawk is slightly better. So I think that's what I'm going to do here. So get rid of that. And block with these two. And take 2. So they'll get back Healer's Hawk, which I don't love, but it's not the worst thing in the world. It is if they have interaction here. They're just going to get blown out, which is kind of what's been happening this whole game. We've never really been in this game. We're just sort of surviving somehow. Oof. Yeah, so this is where Morbid can be bad. Like, we do have removal and stuff in our deck that we just aren't drawing, but... Still, like, you know, it is not a great spot. I guess if they're willing to give up their Simulacrum, you know what? I may as well attack with my Elite. I'm sure they just block with Crystal Barricade, but I think it was worth trying to get them to give us a Morbid, double Morbid trigger. Yeah, that's a pretty good draw at this stage of the game. Yeah, they get a ghoul. All right. I think we're probably dead. Like, I don't know how we wouldn't be. They hit us for 3 in the air. Some amount on the ground. Yeah, I mean, 2 damage should get through. I guess it doesn't automatically. 9 Lives Familiar. I've had some good times with that card, especially with Hungry Ghoul. There's some other stuff. It works with Dazzling Angel pretty well because you get the trigger and stuff. We do have one more turn. I'm not sure what we're going to accomplish with it, though. So we will block here. Means they'll sacrifice their Familiar, but that's okay. They do have to do something. It is sad we're doing as poorly as we are, too, because them playing this card is almost like they mulliganed. Like, you know, it just being able to block and stuff just doesn't really matter. You know, it made like a tiny difference in this game, but not a real one. You know, some random 2-mana 2/2 would have been better in that particular game than that. And that's true in most games for that card. But that's the point, is like we were doing so poorly that even though our opponent played an irrelevant card, they were really never behind in that game, and we were behind the entire game. So, and you know, Morbid, you know, this is the first time I've played with it. This is the most I've played with it in the format so far. It's not a mechanic I've loved in the past, and it doesn't feel awesome here. We'd have Zimone in our hand, but no blue mana this time. I feel like I'm probably going to lead with Thespian, because if I can go Thespian, Ranger, Elite, get 2 tokens, obvious 2 creatures, that's even better. So, might also help us find our blue mana. Hey! I mean, it didn't really help us, because, you know, it was just there. But, yeah, I think we're probably supposed to do it to play the tap land. Let's attack first, because I guess if they kill the Thespian, I'll be less inclined to. Okay, yeah, I think we play the tap land and just play the Elite. Even though it's not as ideal, it means next turn when we play Zimone and get the counters, we'll have places to put them. So, she can put one on herself, notably, but putting them on 2 things that can attack right away is obviously way better. I don't love that they have mana up here, because it does increase their chances of being able to kill her before her trigger, which is pretty hard to do most of the time, but if you have 3 mana up, it is more likely. So I'm considering a little bit going with the Hydra here instead, because it's also kind of a must-kill threat. It also gets better with Zimone, like, next turn. Yeah, with that much mana up, I'm going to just attack with these 2. I don't, you know, Hero's Downfall, among other things, would be bad. Let's play our Hydra. It is funny we got both of our blue sources. Does it get stabbed or something? No. Alright, well, things might get interesting next turn. I'd sort of like it if they tapped out and played something. Or did that. So, they were 1 mana shy. Probably, but I think we did the right thing still. So let's play Zimone. Go to combat. Attack for 7. Yeah. So next turn she'll put 2 more counters. I can threaten to double the counters. Yeah, I was going to say, she's hard to beat, especially because our opponent did basically nothing for the first part of that game. I mean, just wary Thespian into... What did we even have in play? We had 2 2-drops in play, and that was kind of hard for them to beat in that particular game because they didn't have much going on. But adding Zimone to the mix made it impossible for them to have the time to try to find their way out of it. Yeah, if they hadn't killed our Hydra there, I mean, things would have really gotten out of control. No black mana. I mean, we are likely to draw it, and we have a 2-drop and a 3-drop, so I think we keep it. It is funny how much our blue sources have loved us. I think we've had them every game so far, which is not how it's always going to go, but yeah, I think this is a keepable hand. Is it like a perfect hand? Of course not, but this is limited. Ooh. Drawing black mana there would have been nice, because then I could have killed that Scavenging Ooze before things get ugly, but alas, it's still alive. I would definitely block there if it attacked me. Okay. Well, we're going to pass here. We're going to take 3. Okay. We will flash in our wolf, even though there's nothing to be exiled. Still no black mana. Okay. We will attack with Ambush Wolf here. This trade... The only bad thing about this trade is my opponent can turn it into 2 freaking counters, but that's probably okay. Yeah. Then we will play the Snare Spinner, who is, you know, relevant on this board. Yeah, this card I've played with a lot, and it's been pretty good. More so, I think, than the Warden's overall. It's probably the Morbid card I've played with the most. They may just draw a card here. They have a couple different ways to draw a card, actually. They're both instant speed. Yeah, they're both instant speed it. I don't know why they decided to do it when they did it. Okay. Well, I guess this is going to put a counter. Where is it going to put a counter? On itself is pretty good. The bad news is if they have removal, I don't have anything else, but making it a 2/5 does mean... Well, I guess as a 1/4, it already blocks all this stuff pretty well. Making this a 3/3 means it can trade with the Librarian. Making this a 5/3 is less good. Yeah, let's do that. Next turn, we can play the pack, at least, even if we don't have black mana. We have both our blue sources and none of our black. Well, they didn't draw anything with that. That's cool. Oh my god, they have 2 Scavenging Oozes. Hey, there's the black mana. Okay. I mean, I think I send in Ambush Wolf here and we see what happens. Probably. Yeah, let's send in our wolf. All right. That works for me, I think. So I could play stab on one of the oozes and then put a counter somewhere else. Then the other ooze will grow to a 3/3. I could just play the pack to have a 4/5. And I would still have stab up if I do that. That's pretty good, I think, actually. Leaving stab up and playing a 4/5, yeah. That works for me. These oozes are good. The data right now when I'm recording this for them is that they're even better than I expected them to be. I don't remember. I gave them a B+, I think, in the set review, and I think I gave them an A last time, and they underachieved a little. In this format, they're more like what I expected them to be last time. They clearly don't have that much going on in their hand since they've been sinking their mana into these abilities. They might have some big scary thing, which wouldn't be great for us. That is a possibility. Ooh, overrun. Okay. Well, I should probably stab one of the oozes here. That prevents a lot of damage, basically. So let's get rid of an ooze. This can still block and kill something. So I don't love the attack that they have. I mean, it's not great for us, but it could be worse, I guess, is what my point is. They might have the bite down here. That would be bad. That would be very bad. But they no longer have like a deadly and completely deadly attack. I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong. But all right. So we're gonna block there. That leads to us taking 17, more than 17, because we take 3 from that. Then we're probably supposed to double block. So the ooze can grow to a 6. Yeah. Double block that. And we take 12, 13, 14. Yeah, we take 14, which is not where I want to be, but I do kill 2 things, and they can't kill both of these, so yeah. Is there a giant growth in the mix? That wouldn't be very much fun. That would be a no. No on the giant growth. So they probably kill my Needletooth Pack here. This dies, but we still have 7 damage on the board. And a pretty real card in our hand. Oh. Why did that have first strike? I'm confused. Oh, that's why. Okay. Well, we're still kind of alright. Less alright than I was thinking. Only having 1 black mana here is kind of a pain. They do have 1 card in their hand. So yeah, I guess we just play out our biggest creature and hope we don't die. Yeah, I forgot this. More things had first strike than I was thinking. I'm glad I at least blocked correctly for the, yeah, but all their stuff has first strike now, basically, which is not good. So they can attack with all 3 and get a counter here, which is pretty much game over. This can grow to 4. They'll grow one of these to 4, so I just have to block ugly on everything. Yeah, that's not fun. So, okay. I can kill that, but yeah, then I'm gonna chump on these. Nothing really gets us out of this. I mean, Zimone would be good, but definitely wouldn't get us out of this. Yeah, Lana War Elves does not get us out of this. All three of their creatures will be lethal next turn. I can play out enough blockers, but it's not like that accomplishes anything, you know? I guess it's what we'll do, though. So I could get this trigger. Is that better? I mean, I'm dead if I do it. So no. There's not really a card I can draw that makes it worth it, so. Overrun's an interesting card, too, in terms of win rate. I mean, it's early, but it's about... got like a C-level win rate, although it might be the kind of card people are overplaying. Like, you know, it's got a win rate right around what the average win rate in the format is. Obviously, it's great in mini board states, but the triple green and it is situational, you know. You've got to have, like, 16, 17 creatures, or you can't really play it. But I think our opponent's probably there. Yeah, we have to literally block everything. And we're dead. Yeah, yep. Deck hasn't felt great, has it? I mean, we were doing pretty well in that particular game until the overrun. And I didn't do a good job of blocking. I mean, I don't think there was any way for us to block that was, like, super advantageous. I mean, there was definitely a better way, because our 4/5... I would have taken less damage, at least. But, yeah. But the only game we won is one where our opponent was incapable of doing anything. So, oh yeah, I forgot we have this guy. That would have been pretty useful. Definitely a mulligan hand. All right, we got all three colors. This hand looks promising. I probably put the Waltz away. It's kind of awkward early. What is with our blue sources, man? I wish Zimone liked us as much as our blue mana did. That would be helpful. All right. Well, let's play out our Ranger. Might have a bounce spell, but as I said, I don't think there's removal that can kill a Ranger with the mana that they have up. Okay. Well, which way do I want to go here? I don't think it matters whether we play one of these out first. I mean, I do think it matters. I think we want to play one of them out first, because if they have removal to kill the Ranger, I still get a benefit out of it. I think I'm more interested in playing the Prowler. Yeah, next turn I can potentially play the Wardens and kill something and get both triggers, which would be cool. But yeah, we'll just play this out, see what happens here. Looks like it resolves. Alright, so they kill that, but that means my Prowler's now 5/4, so I can live with it. This trigger's obviously stronger, but I thought it was more likely to have a way to kill the Prowler, kill the Wardens, because of it doesn't have ward like the Prowler does. Alright, so let's attack them. I'm sure they take it, yep. And then we will play Wardens and leave up Stab. Overall, it does feel like the Morbid deck, like I kind of thought going into the set. It doesn't work that well. It's just harder to line up. It's an interesting mechanic, because it's when you read and you're like, oh, creatures die all the time. And it's like, well, that's true. But you have to have them die, and you have to have them die at the right time, like the exact right time. Like, even if that time is just this creature is in play, it's harder than you'd think to line it up. With stab in my hand, I'm tempted to attack here with both of these here. This won't die. I mean, if they have a way to buff the light shell duo, that might change, but I think it's worth attacking with both. Well, they're just going to take it. All right, then. We need to stop drawing lands is what we need to do. Because we're in pretty good position in a lot of ways, but they have way more cards than we do. That's not one of the ways that we're in a good position. Though they're not doing anything with them, so that's interesting. Fake Your Own Death is interesting here. Well, once again, we will attack with both of them. See what happens. Okay. So what does this mean? It means that they could block. They can block this with Light Shell Duo now. What happens if I give it -2? It'll be big enough. So I'm trying to decide if I want to save my Prowler and my Wardens here. I kind of think the answer is yes. I won't kill the duo, but I'm going to get both of these triggers in the next main phase. So I suppose they could double block. That would be worse. But I would kill Erudite Wizard at least. I'm already getting this trigger. I mean, if she survives. So yeah, I mean, we need to keep a body on board because that's the thing that we're, like, not doing well right now. So let's go ahead and do this. It dies, we get a treasure, comes back tapped. Now, how do they block? So yeah, I think we use stab here to keep our creature alive. And kill theirs. And then we get both these triggers, and we definitely go with the draw here. Hey, look, another land. We sure made them go pretty hard on killing that thing. Okay, so we attack for 3. Wow. I'm a little surprised they block. I guess they have 1 mana up, so they might draw. Okay, so they decided not to. I was going to say, don't really want to give me a trigger if you can help it. Yeah, that's big. Okay, well, let's attack with Infestation Sage here. Getting in for 1, like, in this close of a game, whether this low on life really matters, so. And letting me draw a card is also good news for us overall, I think. So, yeah, we'll end the turn, and we'll draw and lose a life. Hey, look at that. A card that actually does something. That's helpful. Look at all that removal. That is one thing. You make your opponents... Oh, God, I hate this card. You make your opponents use their removal on their turn when you've got Morbid. They're in blue. It is not. It's possible they get a creature back, but I think I'm more afraid. Well, they have so much removal. Removing some removal isn't going to make a difference. So if I remove the 1 creature, that will make more of a difference. Yeah, that makes sense. Yes. Zimone is key. Okay, so yeah, let's play her. Let's go to combat. Definitely put a counter there. I guess putting 1 here is pretty good. And we attack them with our 2/2. Yeah, they have too many good blocks otherwise. I hate that they have that Archmage in play, because they're probably about to fire off some removal and draw some cards, which is a really bad outcome for us. They do have food, so they have more than one turn left, probably, anyway. All right, I'm glad that's not a spell or removal or a flyer or something with reach. That's important. Okay, so this will get another counter, and then I can double counters, so it can potentially swing for lethal here. So let's go to combat. Put a counter there. Making this a 4/5 seems... Oh, actually, making Ambush Wolf have 6 power is actually pretty good here. It can actually attack. So, gives us something else to... Alright, so then we do this. What happens now? They bounce our token, which is sad. But we do run over Tolarian Terror. Yeah, I can take that. Which also means we get a Warden's trigger. So when you can get Morbid going like this, obviously it's pretty good, but you've seen there have been plenty of times where that is much harder to do. Do I just have 30 lands in my deck? It's starting to feel that way. Ooh, Sphinx's Tool is just cool. Don't see it much in this format, but it's a pretty legit build around for milling people out and stuff. Okay, well, I think we play Burglar Rat here. Make them discard. Ooh. I was worried about them rebuying spells. There's one way to do that. So, 2 damage is lethal, and they have 4 blockers. Which is really annoying for my 4 attackers. I'm trying to think about distributing counters and how that might work out. So they're going to attack with this Sphinx and be able to cast one of these removal spells this turn. Which is very, very bad. If they didn't have a flash creature here, we would have lethal, but of course they did. So if I put a counter on Hungry Ghoul with Burglar Rat and then another counter on it with Zimone, that's pretty good. Make this a 4/5. So we're going to go to combat. I'm going to put a counter here. We're going to put a counter here. Because, yeah, we can still create really ugly blocks here, which is good news for us. And then we attack with these 3. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so then we go counter from Burglar Rat. Use her ability and double the number of counters on these 2. So hopefully we have enough going on that even when they get a free burn spell, removal spell back, we'll be able to kill them. Yeah, if we double the counters on these 2, that gives us 3 really good threats. And kills all their creatures, and ours don't die. They do get to surveil, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, they get to attack here, cast a removal spell. We also get to draw another card, for what that's worth. And it's our other Warden. Alright, so I think that means we're alright. They get their free removal spell, but we have a bunch of huge bodies, so it doesn't really matter. Even if they... I guess they can gain 6, so it matters a little bit. Because I'll have 2 food, so then go up to 8. Yeah, that's still not enough to not be dead, though. Well, Zimone has won us the 2 games we've won, unsurprisingly. Yeah. All right. And we did go off with Morbid in that game, but like we were ahead of our opponent, forcing chump blocks. Like, you know, you don't get to do that every day. Okay, we do have our Harvester now, which is nice. We haven't gotten an Elf token out of a Dwinen's Elite this time, I don't think. And it's not happening here. Because we'll play it on 2. Unless we draw another 2-drop or something, which is, you know, possible. So, yeah, we just fire off Stab on that for sure. Yep, play our Elite. I probably don't play out the Harvester for a bit. First of all, it dies to a bunch of stuff. We'd rather them fire that off on other things. Second of all, setting up a situation where we can use it effectively is probably a few turns away. Don't love this card. It's never been that good in the past, and like it almost always is in Limited now, you need a card that does something to the board right away. Like, the things that you can get away with this doing would be like that it gains you life when it enters. That makes up for the fact you don't add to the board, right? But even though it can turn into a value engine, and I'm sure our opponent's going to draw some cards with it here, they're looking to draw a lot of cards with it here, huh? Yeah, let's play Snare Spinner. Attack him for 6. Might have been worth playing Harvester that turn, just because, yeah, that feels pretty good for them. Playing the Harvester this turn might have been better, because I should have known that they had a big creature coming, you know? What did they bushwhack? They can only kill one of my creatures without... Oh, they're grabbing a land. I see. I was going to say. You can only kill one of my creatures without your creature dying, so... Let's see here. We're definitely attacking with our Ranger. I could put a counter on Dwinen's Elite and swing with everything. I don't think that's what I'm supposed to do, though. I think we just attack with our Ranger here. This doesn't replace itself, at least. The other creatures will get replaced, unfortunately. Yeah, I think we'll just flash in Ambush Wolf. I guess playing Abyssal Harvester does open up more powerful possibilities. But, like, just having a flash creature they don't expect is also pretty good. Yeah, I think it's probably what we're supposed to do. Yeah. Be cool if the spinner attacked us, but there's like no way that happens. So when Elfsworn Giant blocks, they will get this trigger. Darn. We finally don't have blue mana for her, and here we are. Okay. Well. Maybe now we do put a counter on Dwinen's Elite. Oh yeah, we do. Now I think we do put a counter on Dwinen's Elite and just swing with everything. Because they don't have great blocks. They do get a trade, but they take some serious damage here. Yeah. So the Elfsworn Giant will replace itself, but they'll go to 5, and we kill Spinner of Souls before more nonsense happens, so I can live with it. And they whiffed? How do you whiff? That card whiffs? Until you reveal a creature card. I don't know what just happened. Is it a May trigger? And if it is, why did they... No, it's not a May trigger. I don't understand what happened there. I didn't get a card revealed anyway. Yeah, they have drawn a lot of cards. That's for sure. Okay. Well, I think we probably attack with the elite here. And then we play Abyssal Harvester into Hungry Ghoul. Like, the only reason a card wouldn't get revealed is that they don't have any creatures left in their library, but that's not possible. They somehow drew all of them. That thing is gross when it can go off. Let's hope they don't draw some extra cards here. Because that would be bad. Another Scavenging Ooze player, and this time it's late game. They can activate it a bunch and gain a bunch of life and make their ooze huge. Okay, I can certainly live with that. You know, it would have been really nice to draw a land there, because I could have played my giant, made a 1/1, and attacked with this, and, you know, threatened to sack stuff. I mean, Llanowar Elves is kind of sacrifice fodder right now, I guess. I can actually attack with both of these here. I don't know if I want to attack with both. I definitely attack with Hungry Ghoul. Let's play Llanowar Elves here. But I also want to play the Harvester. It doesn't actually make a difference in terms of buffing my Ghoul. So I think we just attack with the Ghoul here. So we do get to kill that. Sort of 2-for-1 ourselves to do it, but Llanowar Elves isn't that useful at this point in time. So I'm sort of okay with it. And then we'll play Harvester again. We are still at 20. Of course, you know, they could get their board going and overrun or preposterous proportions or something, and that's all it would really take. Especially if, you know, they make some 1/1 flyers. Yep, they get to draw 2. Oh, right, that's a combo. It now is a 3-mana 4/2 that makes a 1/1 flyer and draws 2 cards when it enters the battlefield. That's ridiculous. All right. At least they're both dead. Alright, so Giant, make a token. We've got them low on life, and they no longer have a way in play to gain a bunch of life. Truffle Snout and the ooze are gone, so that feels pretty good. What doesn't feel good is that every 4 power thing they play, like that, Draws them 2 cards and makes a 1/1 flyer. I do have reach creatures in play, so maybe I can outlast them. But I have a feeling that this deck is probably packing an Overrun or Preposterous Proportions, which would make that a lot harder. Yeah, Wardens of the Cycle. Well, you know, this is the point where just having the mana for Snare Spinner, you know, it's nice. It's nice that even when I'm flooding out like I am right now, that it does something. Counter on yourself. Does putting a counter on one of these 1/1s really make a difference? Not really. Our deck could have used an Overrun, I think, based on how games have panned out. I think a lot of, you know, green decks with enough creatures and the ability to go wide probably deserve could use an Overrun. Ooh, are they going to go? Interesting. Well, my Snare Spinner can still block that and kill it, so not too alarmed by it. But that won't always be true. Put a counter on itself. Yeah, they can make that flyer so big. I probably do block it with Snare Spinner, because it's going to take them a while to build up another token to the point where it's big enough, you know. So I think I'm probably supposed to block. I could block with the Giant instead, but the Giant's ability to make 1/1s is probably better. Is it? You know, if I block with the Giant instead, they have to then build up another one of these. so I think it is probably better to block with the Giant. Well, they might have Giant Growth or something. Yeah, that feels worse than the Snare Spinner would at least kill it in that situation, but that's okay. Oh god, are they gonna name fairies? Oh, they named blue. Yeah, that makes sense. You don't name a creature type. Yep. I think we're dead. Unfortunately. You know, we gave our opponent the opportunity to play 2 Garruk's Uprisings and outlast things. I mean, they have a pretty good deck for it, because their deck is pretty good at winning the long game. You know, they have the right tools to do it. So we do kill the biggin. They'd only have 6 cards left, but at this point, we're going to be dead before that matters. So... that is why they're not drawing cards. Ugh. Well, Zimone was really good. The rest of our deck, not really. Wasn't that impressed with it. I'm glad we splashed Zimone in the end, or I don't know how many games we would have won. 11, that's 17. They all have trample. I'll go to 1. Sure. How many lands does our deck have? Because it really... did I accidentally put in 18 or 19 or something? Because it sort of felt that way. Only that time the blue ones wouldn't show up after being always there for us. Nope, we got 17. Yep. Yeah, I mean, this... not a great deck overall. The Harvester can be really good. The Hydra can be good. Zimone is, you know, pretty much always really good, but we didn't really go off with either the Hydra or the Harvester. And, we did go off with Zimone at least. We got to see how that goes. So, all right, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.